Long before modern cities, farms, and villages existed in Africa, the land was home to giant animals, strange predators, and prehistoric creatures that roamed forests, rivers, and savannas. Some of these animals looked like creatures from a fantasy movie. Others were ancestors of animals we still see today, but much larger and more powerful. Over thousands and even millions of years, many of these creatures disappeared due to climate change, evolution, and the rise of human hunters. Today, we're going to explore 10 incredible animals that once lived in the region that is now Eastern and Central Africa, but are now completely extinct. Some of them were giants. Some were terrifying predators. And some were unlike anything alive today. Let's travel back in time.
Welcome to Global Agent Connect TV. Subscribe, like, comment, and share to join our global network. Click below to engage with us. Let's connect.
The giant giraffe, Sivatherium. Our first extinct animal is Sivatherium. This animal looked like a cross between a giraffe, a moose, and an antelope. But unlike modern giraffes, Sivatherium had a shorter neck and a much heavier body. In fact, it was one of the largest members of the giraffe family ever discovered. It had massive antler-like horns and could weigh more than 1 ton. Scientists believe it lived in forests and open grasslands across Africa, including parts of Central Africa near modern Cameroon. Around 8,000 years ago, this giant animal disappeared forever. The giant buffalo. Next is the massive Pelorovis antiquus. Imagine a buffalo much larger than the African buffalo we know today. This prehistoric beast had enormous curved horns and a muscular body built for survival in tough environments. It lived across Africa's savannas and likely roamed areas that are now northern Cameroon. Despite its strength, Pelorovis eventually went extinct around 10,000 years ago, possibly due to climate change and early human hunting. The straight-tusked elephant. Now, imagine one of the largest elephants to ever walk the earth. Meet Paleolophodon recce. This ancient elephant was much larger than modern elephants and had long, straight tusks. Some scientists believe it could reach 4 meters tall at the shoulder. These giant elephants roamed across Africa, including Central African forests and plains. But thousands of years ago, they vanished, leaving behind only fossils and bones. The saber-toothed predator. Now, we move to one of the most dangerous predators of prehistoric Africa, the terrifying Dinofelis. This animal looked similar to a lion, but had long dagger-like canine teeth. Dinofelis hunted large animals and likely stalked prey in forests and grasslands. Unlike modern big cats, it relied heavily on ambush attacks, striking suddenly and delivering deadly bites. Eventually, changes in climate and competition from other predators may have caused its extinction. Another saber-toothed hunter. Another deadly predator was Megantereon. This cat had extremely powerful forelimbs and long saber teeth used to bring down prey. It hunted large herbivores and possibly early human ancestors. Fossils of Megantereon have been found in many parts of Africa, but like many prehistoric predators, it disappeared as ecosystems changed. The giant pig. Next, we meet a strange prehistoric animal called Colpoceras. This animal looked like a giant wild pig, but much larger and more powerful. It had massive jaws and tusks used for digging and defense. Colpoceras lived across Africa millions of years ago, but eventually environmental changes wiped it out. The elephant with downward tusks. Now we meet one of the strangest elephants in history, Sivatherium. Unlike modern elephants, its tusks curved downward from the lower jaw instead of upward. Some scientists believe these tusks were used to pull vegetation or strip bark from trees. Sivatherium was enormous and lived in forests across Africa. But millions of years ago, it disappeared from the earth. The clawed herbivore. Next is a very unusual creature called Sivatherium. This animal looked somewhat like a horse, but had long claws instead of hooves. Those claws helped it pull down branches to eat leaves. Sivatherium lived in forest environments and was a plant eater. But like many ancient mammals, it eventually became extinct. The giant hyena. Another powerful predator was the Pachycurcuda brevirostris. This giant hyena was larger and stronger than modern hyenas. It had massive jaws capable of crushing bones. Unlike many predators, it was both a hunter and a scavenger. For thousands of years, it dominated African ecosystems before disappearing. The giant shark. Finally, we move from land to sea. The legendary Megalodon. Megalodon was one of the largest predators ever to exist. Some scientists believe it could grow up to 60 feet long. Ancient oceans along Africa's western coastline, including areas near the Gulf of Guinea, were once hunting grounds for these giant sharks. But around 3.6 million years ago, Megalodon vanished. Even though these animals are gone, the region that is now Cameroon remains one of the richest places for wildlife in Africa. Rare animals still survive today, including Cross River gorilla, African forest elephant, drill. These species remind us that protecting wildlife is essential so that today's animals do not become tomorrow's fossils. The past teaches us one powerful lesson. Even the largest and strongest creatures can disappear forever. And that is why conservation matters. We have reached the end of our video. Thanks for watching and keep supporting us with like, comment, and share.